There's two things that happen around this time of year, and that is the holidays and too many birthdays for me to keep up with.
And when all of those require presents, it's extra stressful. That's why Uncommon Goods makes holiday shopping and birthday shopping stress-free and joyful, with thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts you can't find anywhere else.
Uncommon Goods has something for everyone. Genuinely, I was going through so many book lovers presents, and I was like, I know this is supposed to be a present for someone else, but like, what if it was for me? But then they also have things for like diehard football fans, for foodies, mixologists, and avid gardeners. I have at least 5 avid gardeners in my life.
And when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses, which we are all about.
I had no idea about this. It wasn't until we were reading up about Uncommon Goods that with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. And they've donated more than $3 million to date. How is it that I feel better about shopping?
So shop early, have fun, and cross some names off your list today.
To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/booktalk.
That's uncommongoods.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK for 15% off.
Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
At Talus, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Talus, you can secure what matters most. With Talus industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Talus to protect what matters most. Applications, data, and identities. That's Talus, THALES. Learn more at talusgroup.com/cyber.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This autumnish, we're hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Heir of Fire.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week we'll discuss one book from our autumnish book club roster. By using our literary backgrounds, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book as well as discuss listener thoughts.
This week, we're discussing The Jasad Heir by Sara Hashem.
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, series spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language, as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. If you're enjoying the podcast, check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk.
I'm not sure if you noticed this. As Amy and I were reading the intros and outros, because we always do that before we start recording, I am trying to pronounce the T's at the end of my words.
I did notice. I wasn't going to say anything.
My California accent has reached a point of no return, except I'm trying to say return. I was trying to say goat, and I was like saying to Amy, and they have a goat.
You can buy a whole goat. And I was like, a whole goat? Goat? I was like, oh.
And then I was saying it later. There's go, and then there's go.
Goat.
So I'm announcing my T's now. That's my former...
Enunciating.
I'm enunciating my T's now. This is my new reality. This is my truth. It's going to sound weird from here on out.
I mean, I need to work on that as well. So I will also make an effort to say my T's.
It already hurts
I know.
my mouth.
It's already so much effort.
I'm already over it. We are here to discuss the Jasad Heir.
Yes.
Hands up, tits up. Amy?
I really enjoyed it. Aaron is my new book boyfriend. Huzzah. I had one more word left.
Huzzah. One of the most refreshing FMCs I have read yet.
Yes. I couldn't tell by your expressions at lunch, but I was worried that you didn't like this book. I loved this book.
I will be honest while only giving as much information as I can to the podcast. I started reading this book at a really complicated time in my life where a lot of intense things were happening. And it was very hard to concentrate for me. So I feel bad for the Jasad Heir, mainly because it was a lot that I was having to process. And then I would try to listen to this, and then there'd be parts where I'm like, what just happened? Where are we? So a lot of this, I'm going to have to ask your to help me explain a little bit more what happened. But everything I do remember and comprehended, I really enjoyed. I mean, just in the first 5-10 minutes of the book, because we listened to this, I was instantly thinking, I like her. She's on board. She's so different than what we've read.
Yes, I agree. So there's a lot to talk about. There's world building. There's our FMC. There's our MMC. There's this, the trope of enemies to lovers. What are some themes maybe that you remember potentially?
It's so funny because I only finished this like 2 hours ago.
Okay.
So, but it took me 2 weeks to read it because I was just all over. I don't want to say found family because yes, that is a concept, but I would like to say accepting a family, or not even accepting a family, accepting of others into your life. I don't even want to call this a found family at this point. It's just accepting that there is no weakness in allowing others into your life.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. And it's, to dovetail on that, it's also accepting love from it's both accepting love and learning to recognize what love is or means for you and the people in your life.
Yeah, it's so interesting because what's the main character's name again? Sylvia.
Oh yeah, Sylvia is the name that she goes by. Yes.
Sylvia never changes throughout also, which is what I appreciate. Like there's something that happens when you know, sometimes characters, when they start accepting love in their life and friends, and there's this kind of fundamental shift, and she's so resistant of everything, even to the end where she's like, ugh. And then I think part of the reason why I like her is where she's like, oh my God, I guess I like you. Let me talk to you. Okay, now I'm going to kiss you. Oh, can you just like be there? You know, that's.
It's so true. She's so resistant.
Yeah. To the bitter end, she's resistant.
Yep.
Until she's literally not resisting it and then breaks the chains that was resisting her, which was fan-fucking-tastic. All right, I gave you a theme. Now you give me a theme.
Well, you stole my theme, actually. Another theme is, it's kind of, I wouldn't say nature versus nurture, but it's more, what do you owe your heritage?
Yeah.
Right? It's like what you come from, and it's kind of like the sins of the father, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to pay the price for your parents or your ancestors' sins? I think is a big thing as well.
What I love about this one, because we've seen that before a couple times, right? Like having to pay for the sins of the father. The difference is the sins of Sylvia she would have probably continued those sins if she had been raised by that family. If she had continued to live her life, she probably would have very easily taken on those sins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she already blocks out memories, unless there's like a magic reason why she blocks out memories. But she, has this distorted idea, even in her own current mentality of, well, no one, like you guys, like we weren't that bad. Things weren't that bad for you guys. And rather than just thinking, okay, maybe there's a reason why all these other nations retaliated. And she's very resistant of that. So what I love about this concept of sins of the father is that it's only the father because she happened to not be raised by them.
Yeah.
They happened to die.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I think also, I mean, I guess it's less in this book than it is in the sequel, but there's also a lot of what you learn for, like, what is objective truth and rewriting of history. That's also part of it too.
Rewriting history was interesting. So I'm trying to remember, her mind was just broken up into mirrors. Like that's what the other former attendant person, and she just kind of blocked out like memories of everything. It wasn't a magic reason, right? Like it was just her blocking things out.
There, I cannot say because it gives spoilers for the next book.
Can't go ahead, spoil it. You know, like series spoilers may be included. We say it at the top.
It's true. It's true. So what you learn pretty early in the second book is that now that every 100 years, there's a case of magic madness. And Sylvia has magic madness. And the only reason why she did not succumb to it is because she had the cuffs on for so long.
Wow. Can she succumb to it now? Yeah. Yeah, she can. And only one dick can save her.
That's actually, I highly recommend this book. I highly recommend the sequel. It's a duology. I felt like overall it handles accountability and taking responsibility for your actions or the outcomes, accepting the outcomes of every action, no matter what it is. I think it handles that really, really well. And in a way you don't want it to.
Oh, no.
But it does it anyway. And
no, that doesn't sound like they end up together.
It's really, really, really good. I highly recommend it.
No. I hope to come back to this. It is such a weird, like I have such a, not a bad taste in my mouth, but a very distinct taste in my mouth when I think of this book. It's going to be a while before I come back to it. Maybe in like a year, I'll do it. But I'm excited. I mean, like everything about it was very good. And everything about Sylvia was on top of it and hilarious for me. And just the way, the contradiction of how she would defend her home and where she's from, but then also want absolutely nothing to do with it was just a very interesting dynamic from the get-go.
Yeah, and I completely agree. There's something about Sylvia, and I can kind of understand it, of she's very protective of Jasad and the memories of Jasad because she only remembers the good things about Jasad and her family. And then, but she's so traumatized by what's happened to her and the way that people have tried to use her that she wants nothing to do with its future. She would rather be focused on its past instead of thinking about its future and taking responsibility for bringing a future back around for her people and for the land.
So hard. It's so messy. It is a messy book. I kind of want to talk a little bit about when she was kidnapped by or enslaved by Hanem. Is that what her name was? Hanem. Okay, help me out. So Hanem betrayed the family and kidnapped her, and no one knew that she took her.
Not quite. So what happens is Hanem was already exiled by the Jasad family, the kingdom of Jasad, because she had already tried to betray the Jasad kingdom once, helping Aaron's father try to invade it. So she was exiled. And then when the fortress goes down, the blood summit happens, the fortress goes down, everybody dies. Hanem knows that the fortress is going to go down and happens upon Sylvia.
Yeah.
And takes Sylvia with her.
Without anybody knowing. Yeah.
So everyone assumes Sylvia is dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it took a while for me to decide whether Hanem was in her mind or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was, I went back and forth of thinking, oh, this is like someone that you just think is in your head, to, is she actually trapped in her head?
I know. I also thought about that.
Which kind of, it does a great job, because I think if Sylvia has magic and madness, that's making the reader have their own kind of madness. Because I really went back and forth between, this is more than, I heard their voice in my head, right? Like you kind of get that in a lot of books. This was the first time I've ever read a book where I was questioning myself of thinking, wait, is she actually? And then at one point I was like, oh, okay, so she actually is trapped in her head. And then something else happens and I go, is she not trapped in her head?
Yeah.
And I just was going back and forth on it the whole time. And now now I know about the magic madness, like talk about a great way of executing that where it's making us, the reader, question just as much.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. I didn't even think about that. Before I read the second book, I had begun to theorize that Sylvia is capable of walking through space and time. That was my theory at the time. I'm not going to confirm or deny if that's the case. But yes, I felt like, oh, she's able to basically hear the voices of the dead through the veil. Like that, I had gotten to that point.
Yeah, I think I was like, oh, she can absorb magic. And then later at the end, when they were doing the whole, oh, I can, like, guess what? My cuffs keep magic in, bitch. Then I was like, oh yeah, she absorbed Hanem then. And then I was like, no, we're still just pulling straws here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she was just so traumatized
by
Hanem that she knows exactly what Hanem would do.
One of the most tragic moments was when Sylvia was opening up to Aaron and said, sometimes I miss her, and that she's more of a mother figure to me than my own mother.
Yeah, that was a very powerful moment. I mean, it doesn't dive too much into it in the first book. It dives more into this idea in the second book and how both Aaron and Sylvia have this past of trauma and being abused and still wanting the love and approval of your abuser.
It's so sad. It's not even messy. Like, it's just sad, right? Because that's what the abuser wants. And that is like, it's nothing on the victim. The victim has no say in it. And if you have these complicated emotions, that's just because the abuser's doing what they were trying to do, right?
Right. They succeeded.
Because an abuser doesn't want their victim to be willing to walk away. You know, like there's a reason why it's a system of abuse and not, I'm going to do this one thing that's so aggressive that you're going to choose to walk away.
Yep.
Because they want you near. So that when she said that was like, it took me out of my whatever I was doing and just kind of sat there and I was like, oh no, oh no, Sylvia, no. Just going into the fact that she can't be touched. Did it imply that there was sexual assault while she was in Hanem's care?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either.
It was all physical abuse. We get that really intimate moment where Aaron's touching the scars on her back.
There was, and maybe because I was like, I went down a TikTok rabbit hole. It was a weird time. I went down this TikTok rabbit hole and it was, there's a saying, it's mothers sexually abusing their daughters. And all of a sudden I was like, reading people's stories and everything. And then I went back to like reading this and I was like, maybe that's what happened, even though there's no evidence, but there was something about it where that's just, again, the victim trying to like understand their relationship with their abuser, especially if it comes from a parent, of that fondness and distraught emotions. That was really complicated. I mean, all of this makes Sylvia super complicated because then that's why she doesn't like being touched and that's why she has issues with her friends and trusting them. Right.
I mean, all she knows is being used, right? Being used against people, especially when the most formative time of your life is between the ages of 10 and 15. You're being physically abused by the only person you see who shows some semblance of caring for your survival.
Yeah.
What I really, really like about Sylvia and what I think Sara did really well is how believable she is for a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
How much she really is I'm here for me. I don't want to take on the burden of having friends. I don't want to take on the burden of caring about these people. I don't want to take on the burden of my heritage, etc. And really just trying to push everything and everyone away. And I felt like I liked her. I liked her a lot.
Yeah. And it was also done in a way that still I was endeared to her.
Yes.
And that's the thing where there wasn't necessarily a moment of like, you're so stupid, just let them in. Yeah, there might be points of like, come on, let them in. But there was something about her that was just so endearing. And I think part of that is because Sylvia in her own way was always reaching out. She was always reaching out to people, when she asks them for help to bury the body, when she is considerate of Rory, when she's, she talks about like, oh, I'm just selling potions on the side to get money. And it's like, okay, but you're also helping people. You know what I mean? Like she has these little ways that she's trying to connect with people. So I think that for me, that's why it doesn't come off as like she's constantly pushing people away. It's more like you can see her constantly reaching, but she doesn't know how to consciously reach.
Yes, exactly. The narrative in her head is the opposite of her actions. She knows she's in danger, she should be running away, but she doesn't run away at the start of the book because she doesn't want to sacrifice the relationship she has developed over the last 5 years.
I mean, and that's where at the end of the day, like her relationship with the two friends, I can't remember their name. One begins with an M.
It's Seifa and Merrick.
Yeah, Seifa and Merrick. I loved Seifa and Merrick, and not just because they added to Sylvia's experience, but they were both very complicated individuals of their own.
And they recognized, I think, the complication in Sylvia. And they're like, yeah, you're a kindred spirit. We can get on board with this. I appreciated that too.
They're like, you know what? I'm not mad. I'll support you. Do you want to have issues? We'll have issues together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I get from this group of people? And I'm not saying that like other books do this, but I feel like there's something about it that it highlights it more for me. There's no competition of sadness here. There's no, well, I had it this way and I had it that way. It's a lot of sympathy for people who've been through various degrees of shit.
Yeah.
And not that other books give you that sense of competition, but there's just such a sense of, like you called it, like kindred spirits. Like they recognize, oh, you've been hurt like we've been hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying. I don't know if none of them is the right way to say that, but they're not necessarily wallowing in self-pity, right? They're not saying, well, I'm allowed to make these bad choices because of what's been done to me, right? There's none of that. We all have had really hard shit happen to us. We have made mistakes. We're probably going to keep making mistakes, but we're going to do the best we can.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
We're going to get through. Yeah. What I also loved about the relationship is that they weren't together. And I felt like once she clarified that, my feelings were hurt.
Oh,
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I felt like it was such a betrayal. Like once he started hitting on that other woman and they walked away, I was gagged. My feelings were so hurt for her. And even though they weren't together, but like he wanted to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We sleep in the same room. They're emotionally intimate.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know if they get together or not.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything.
Why?
I don't think you want to know.
Oh, they don't get together. Wow.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I do.
He dies. Plot twist, it's an ad break, but we promise it is still canon.
Amy, I came to visit you at your job and there's so much walking, but I held up like a champ because I had my Walk Slim Glide from Vionic, which you wear all the time to work.
They are the perfect walking shoe that pairs well with all of my work clothes, and they are so comfortable whether I'm standing up at my desk or walking between meetings. What I love about them is that they bring that support that I need throughout the day, but are also super stylish looking.
Yeah, I've been wearing them with every single outfit and on a date. Vionic's exclusive VioMotion technology is really what sets them apart because they began by revolutionizing medical orthotics. Today, they continue to use that science to engineer shoes that leave you feeling energized and confident all day.
They even offer a 30-day guarantee. You can wear them, love them, or return for a full refund within 30 days. And let me tell you, I have no intention of returning mine.
That's how you know when they're good, is that they're like, oh, you want to return it? Because you're not gonna. Use code BOOKTALK at checkout for 15% off your entire order at VionicShoes.com when you log into your account.
It's a one-time use only, so buy all the shoes you want to try, give them a whirl.
And this is going to be great holiday shopping right here.
Vionic Shoes, wearable well-being for your feet.
I have been looking for a multivitamin for a really long time, and Ritual has actually always been on my list to check out. And I am so happy that we are partnering with them today because Ritual's essential multis have the nutrients most of us don't get from our food and all in their clean, absorbable forms.
They're super heavily researched and there's no shady additives or ingredients that do more harm to your body, which is exactly what I need because I already do enough harm to my body.
And I'm right there with you. I use the Ritual Essential for Women 18 plus, but I also really love their daily protein because getting protein is a full-time job and Ritual helps me.
I've been loving their Synbiotic Plus gut health because, as all of you know, My gut hates me. It gives you the necessary prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics for a healthy system.
Their Essential for Women 18 Plus multi contains 9 key nutrients in 2 delayed release capsules designed for optimal absorption per day.
Ritual's multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO, project verified, gluten, and made allergen-free. And even if you don't think you need those things, trust me, you need those things.
Instead of striving for perfect health, aim for supporting foundational health.
Get 25% off your first month only at ritual.com/booktalk.
Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK for 25% off. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps.
What I love about AG1 is the live probiotics that are in the drink in addition to the 75 plus minerals and vitamins. I've tried the probiotic pills and it just doesn't work for me.
You are a probiotic girl.
I try so hard.
My favorite part about AG1 Next Gen is the fact that they have multiple gold standard clinical trials. In an industry where not everyone invests heavily on research, AG1 Next Gen goes to great lengths to continually invest in rigorous peer-reviewed clinical trials.
Not only does AG1 support gut health, it also boosts energy, provides daily nutrients, and supports your immune system. Head to drinkag1.com/booktalk to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs when you first subscribe.
That's drinkag1.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK. There's 2 things that happen around this time of year, and that is the holidays and too many birthdays for me to keep up with.
And when all of those require presents, it's extra stressful. That's why Uncommon Goods makes holiday shopping and birthday shopping stress-free and joyful, with thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts you can't find anywhere else.
Uncommon Goods has something for everyone. Genuinely, I was going through so many book lovers presents and I was like, I know this is supposed to be a present for someone else, but like, what if it was for me? But then they also have things for like diehard football fans, for foodies, mixologists, and avid gardeners. I have at least 5 avid gardeners in my life.
And when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses, which we are all about.
I had no idea about this. It wasn't until we were reading up about Uncommon Goods that with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. And they've donated more than $3 million to date. How is it that I feel better about shopping?
So shop early, have fun, and cross some names off your list today.
To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/booktalk.
That's uncommongoods.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK for 15% off.
Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
He gets killed off.
You know what? Good job.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I'm telling you, like, this duology does hard things, and it does it well.
How early does that happen, or is it towards the end?
It's during the final battle.
Okay. I respect it. I love it when they kill off a good one like that.
And what I like about it is there are more perspectives in the second book. You oscillate between Sylvia, Seifa, Merrick, and Aaron. You get all 4 perspectives. And he's a main POV, and he gets killed off.
Think that's going to make you safe? Did they get together too before that?
No.
Okay. We can only go for so much pain.
No. Yeah.
But I think what goes, maybe that's another theme, emotional intimacy. That you do not need to have any kind of sexual relationship to have emotional intimacy. Sylvia has emotional intimacy to varying degrees with everyone. Sylvia and Seifa both end up building emotional intimacy. So I think that that's another really good highlight where out of everyone here, there's all the dynamics, there's only one physical attraction happening.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, it's like truly all emotional intimacy.
Yeah. And I would even say with Aaron and Sylvia, they do develop emotional intimacy on top of them being attracted to each other.
Oh, they were emotional intimacy first.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first POV we get of Aaron, I love it because there isn't even a moment of, regardless if she was beautiful, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
There wasn't a beat of her eyes glistened, or, attractive features, like there was none of that. It was purely, she's annoying the shit out of me.
Yeah. And I'm going to knock her unconscious.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Early on, I was like, they're going to get together, but they really don't want to be together. And I really want them to be together.
Yeah.
And so when you get Aaron's first POV, I really admired how Sara was very clinical, the way Aaron is clinical about how he views Sylvia. And that makes the development of their relationship all the more powerful because of how far they come.
Aaron is so interesting. I had so many different thoughts happening at once that they all disappeared at once. So no, it's okay. We chose to record today. We had to get this last recording done.
Yeah.
Aaron is fan-fucking-tastic. He wasn't obsessed with her to get-go. Oh, this is one of my thoughts. One of the things that I love about, I can't remember who was saying it, but it was, why does Aaron not love? Because it would consume him. And that's a great answer. That's a great answer.
Yeah, it would be an obsession, essentially. And that's why, like, you should be afraid of him falling in love with anything or anyone, because it would become obsessive and it would consume him and the other person.
I feel like it would be, again, it's a gauntlet. I'll try it.
Yeah, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
It's funny because I say all these things, but I'm also realizing I would be if someone wanted to spend every single moment with me, it would not work. Mainly because if I'm not with them, I'm going to be with you. They can't spend every second with me. Track my location. That's fine. I don't care. But so tell me, you said he's one of your favorite. Is he the favorite book boyfriend? Is it because he likes maps?
If he had Excel, he would love spreadsheets.
I think that, I didn't think of you while I was listening to it, but when you said he's your favorite book boyfriend, I'm like, that checks.
Yeah.
He loves a plan. He loves a research.
Yeah. I think what I like about him is I see in him all the things I see in myself in terms of like the obsessiveness, the compulsiveness of planning and thinking ahead and thinking through all the possibilities. I understand that. At the same time, though, what I like about him is that falling for Sylvia, not just falling for Sylvia because of who she is, but falling for anybody, is literally against his nature. And I don't know, I think there's really something really beautiful about the way that they try to interact. And both are just so broken. They don't know how to have a relationship. And over time, you start to see it a little bit in the Jasad Heir, but they stop overthinking. You can see the moment where they're like, fuck my thinking, fuck my brain. I'm
done. Fuck my brain, fuck me. I love that where Sylvia was like, I'm going to do something. Don't stab me.
Yes, I love them so much.
I feel like that's something I have said before. If it's not stab, like, I'm going to do something. Don't be weird.
Yeah, and what I think I like about it is I think I again see this in myself. It's that I know you so well because I've observed everything there is to observe about you, that I know exactly how you're going to react, and I'm still going to do something you don't like, and you're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
I felt like they were kindred spirits in that way.
They really were. I mean, this is one of those moments where they could be best friends or they could be together.
Exactly.
And I would believe it.
Yep.
Like I think Sara, the author, does kindred spirits well. And I don't think I've read a book where you have kindred spirits, because everyone here is a kindred spirit to one another. And there is just something so different between they relate to one another, they have similar backgrounds, versus that little extra something sauce that I can't really put my finger on how she manages to do it, but saying actually they are all very kindred spirits.
Yeah. I think it's the push and pull, at least with Aaron and Sylvia, there's this push and pull with them. They are so on the same wavelength. And then instantly they're at each other's throat all the time because they don't know how to reconcile how they feel, how to interact with another human being who is like them, and accepting someone who is like them.
I know. Shall we go into Goodreads?
Yeah.
So we did not ask the listeners because I forgot.
And that's okay.
Thank you for your understanding, Amy. I don't know if anyone else understands, but I'm going to assume.
One thing we didn't talk about that I really, really, really liked about this is the world building, and the world building that's Sara is of Egyptian descent, and she uses Egyptian mythology influences in her world building, which I thought was really well done.
Oh, you know what? I have questions. Okay, so the attendant that she had, that Sylvia had that betrays, what's the age gap between her, Aaron, and Sylvia?
So Aaron is like 5 years older than Sylvia. He's like 26 and she's 21.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess the attendant was similar in age to...
Maybe even a couple years older than Aaron.
Maybe a couple years older than Aaron, yeah. I mean, I imagine she was like a teenager when she was taking care of Sylvia as a child.
Okay, so one of my notes that I have for this book in general, and this, again, could be me, I had, like where I was in listening to these things, I was confused about what was happening when, particularly when the, like, certain scenes I feel like would jump in. Like, I wasn't sure what the final battle was, and then when she killed her attendant, I was like, what are we doing? I'm so confused. Like, we're going back through memory lane, and then she smothers her with her magic, but it just felt very kind of hopping around for me.
Sure. So they enter the final competition, right? So it's Dia and Sylvia enter it's like a coliseum, and they're about to start the final competition. They drink a potion that's basically supposed to make them hallucinate. But what happens is the attendant, and I forget what her name is. I know it starts with an S. I keep wanting to say Sayori, but that's Japanese. So she has swapped out the potions. One puts Dia in a coma, basically. The other one puts Sylvia into a dream world that the attendant can control.
Gotcha.
Essentially. So what Sylvia is seeing has been determined by the attendant. The attendant is basically revealing all the information.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, let's go into some Goodreads.
All right. I'm really sad that this has more 4 stars than 5 stars.
Can you read some for us?
Okay, this is a 3.5 star. A very promising debut. It follows a tried and true format for political fantasy stories, which most readers will find familiar and enjoyable. With tropes like a queen in hiding, the tension of enemies to lovers, a competition of champions, and scheming kingdom rulers, this ticks a lot of boxes. And the Egyptian inspiration is also a really nice touch and creates a very vibrant atmosphere. But the things that kept me from loving this were the unnecessary long length and inconsistent pacing, some weak editing, and awkward writing. Not deal breakers, but definitely things I would want to see improve before publication and or as the series continues. So because we listened to this, I didn't notice any of those.
The pacing was weird for me at sometimes. There was one moment when they're moving between one competition area to another competition area, and then Sylvia gets hurt, and then nothing really kind of comes out. It just was there, like she had just gotten stabbed, and then they were moving, and then she kind of passes out again, and there was a couple of like in between beats that I felt like that wasn't necessarily needed and kind of paused some of the storyline.
Yes, I wasn't bothered by some of the pacing because to me, some of the pacing came across as a symptom of the magic madness. To me, it was like Sylvia is not fully in control of all her faculties. And I didn't know that it was magic madness, but I could tell that, again, this goes back to my theory of time and space. Like there were times where I was like, she's not tethered to her body.
Yeah.
So to me, the pacing didn't bother me.
I like that, especially since we know that she kind of created mirrors in her mind and didn't, deleted things from her head.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that more. All right, I'll read one. This one was a 2-star review. I finally finished this. Whew, what a struggle. It started off so well and I was so invested and intrigued, but towards the middle, it started to drag. I was promised a deadly tournament. However, that didn't even start until 3/4 of the book. My main issue with the story was the fact that the main character has cuffs on her wrists that prohibits her from using her magic. She was held hostage for 5 years and tortured, and still her magic doesn't work. However, as the story progresses, she was able to not only use her magic with the cuffs, but use it whenever she wanted. How? Unfortunately, I don't buy the romance either. It was once again a promising start with true enemies to lovers vibes, but to me, there was no slow build. It was 300 pages of enemies, then the next minute, they're in love. When did this happen?
See, I think for me, I think it's reading the details, paying attention to what the character isn't saying.
I agree when it comes to the romance.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that's a good question, though, of like, how is it that she doesn't use magic for 5 years? And then, I mean, you could say one, Erin's encouraging her to use magic, so therefore she's actually trying.
Yeah. There are more explanations in the second book.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got. This one, someone gave it a 4.2 to 4.4. I don't know how people come up with their point system. I have really struggled to find the most suitable way to describe this book, and I think I have found a description that seems to do it at least some justice. This book is cultural opulence wrapped in a slow burning romance, which I think that's a great description.
That's a great way, yeah.
I ventured in hoping for political intrigue, forbidden magic, and a spark of forbidden romance that would entirely take my breath away. And while I got all of that beautifully wrapped in this book, I also found myself exhilarated and exasperated in equal measure. This is a very long review. I will read the short summary. The Jasad Heir drops you into a world where secrets are practically a currency and the characters guard theirs like dragon hordes. Our elusive heir is a master of speaking in loaded half sentences and conveying entire arguments through a single well-timed glare. Emotional openness, that's for lesser mortals. Beneath all of the frost lies a slow burn tangle of lineage, betrayal, and shifting loyalties, where every alliance feels as fragile as porcelain. You'll spend much of the book deciphering glances and pauses, but when the emotional armor finally cracks, it's enough to make the whole guarded journey worth it. I agree. This person got the message in terms of, like, how do you read people who don't know how to be emotionally intimate?
Yes, I very much agree with they said something earlier, but I was like, yes, but overall, 10 out of 10, I completely agree. It was a really, really good book. Like I'm annoyed that my life kind of took a pivot and distracted me, because I did enjoy this book thoroughly, and I do look forward to coming back to that again.
Yeah, I'm sad for Sara that this did not get more stars, because I'm like, we've read a lot of good books this year.
Yeah.
This is on my top 5.
I agree. I think she deserves more stars. I'm going to read this 2-star ones because I think we can argue it. I'm not familiar with Egyptian mythology to know who are the colonizers/colonized in this book, but I'm not even offended by that. I was mostly offended by the side characters named Wes. If you know, you know. Sylvia, who has at least 2 other names, is the colonized and the secret heir to a different kingdom. Who knew? Possibly everyone. She and her captor, Erin, fall in love. This isn't even a spoiler. It's the most obvious thing in the world. I'm not sure the Arab girlies are as offended by this. She said as offended by this as I am, but every Asian colonizer romance I've read lately, sadly of which there are many, so I'll let them tell you that, but just know I'm more bored than offended. And that's telling. Take a shot every time a colonizer romance is categorized enemies to lovers. Take a shot every time character is named after a man you've dated. That's funny.
The irony of all of this, I mean, I'm just giving more spoilers, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. The irony of this is you learn by the end of the second book that, and this is important for Erin and his abilities, he's half Jasad.
That makes sense.
He's half Jessity, is their people's name, Jessity.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I'm like, I think your argument is not so sound here. But I understand the sentiment, but I also don't know that I agree.
I actually don't even see the colonizer. I don't think that's like, I think they're misusing the word colonizing.
I think so,
and
too.
I don't think that they understand what colonizing is, because there's a difference between here's a kingdom that is being a dick and we're all going to take that kingdom out.
Yeah.
That's not colonization.
Right. Colonizing would be, I'm claiming this land as my own and these people are now my slaves, or they're now, my people.
I have a flag here. This is mine. I have a flag. You don't have a flag. Goodbye. Yeah. You will adapt to my culture, my customs.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going to say that if you're Jasad and you fled and you have to take on other customs. But like, again, that's not colonization because they're not saying you have to adapt. They're killing you.
Right.
Like they're killing you off.
Right. They don't want those people to live.
And it comes out of magic reasons too, which I'm not saying it's good, but like I can understand if you're trying to get rid of people, why you would do that.
Yeah. Well, and so I don't know if some of the comments are based on the fact that from Sylvia's point of view, she's always harping on like, ugh, that's a Jasad type of bread. And oh, that's Jasad culture. They stole it. Yeah, but you guys have been trading for centuries. Your neighboring kingdoms. What makes you think it was only Jasad?
I think that is actually meant to be more of a pointing out that cultures and borders are made up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, cultures aren't made up, but like the origin.
Adding borders to cultures is made up. Like Japanese, Korean, and Chinese are so different, but they come from the same heritage that they look like copy and pastes of each other sometimes.
Amy's Chinese.
I'm Chinese.
I just want, like, before anyone's listening and they're like, yeah, hold on.
They're very distinctly different, but they all are also very similar.
I mean, I think about Chile and we are surrounded with Peru and Argentina. And, you know, I can talk about a Chilean empanada and say how it's the best empanada, but also I've tried Argentinian empanadas and it's the same.
Yeah.
Or pisco sour is better from Chile, but pisco sour is also the same thing as a Peruvian pisco sour. So there's a lot of similarities, but again, we'll sit here and be like, oh, they're doing empanadas. Chileans do better empanadas, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely, there are definitely moments along those lines. And I think that rather than saying, who is supposed to be the colonized and the colonizer, it's like, actually, I think it's borders, like culture and borders don't, you cannot put borders to culture when they're neighboring like that.
Right. And when they interact so closely. The other thing is, if you didn't pick up the fact that Sylvia is an unreliable narrator, then your anger is false.
Yeah. I mean, and she's so unreliable.
She's very unreliable. Thank you for listening to this episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Stick around for Thursday's special episode.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. You can submit your comments to our form at booktalkforbooktalk.com if you would like to respond to any of the prompts like the ones we discussed today. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram where we ask for listener submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk. Bye.
I have been looking for a multivitamin for a really long time, and Ritual has actually always been on my list to check out. And I am so happy that we are partnering with them today because Ritual's Essential Multis have the nutrients most of us don't get from our food and all in their clean, absorbable forms.
They're super heavily researched and there's no shady additives or ingredients that do more harm to your body, which is exactly what I need because I already do enough harm to my body.
And I'm right there with you. I use the Ritual Essential for Women 18+, but I also really love their daily protein because getting protein is a full-time job, and Ritual helps me.
I've been loving their Synbiotic Plus gut health because, as all of you know, my gut hates me. It gives you the necessary prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics for a healthy system.
Their Essential for Women 18+ multi contains 9 key nutrients in 2 delayed release capsules designed for optimal absorption per day.
Ritual's multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO, project verified, gluten, and made allergen free. And even if you don't think you need those things, trust me, you need those things.
Instead of striving for perfect health, aim for supporting foundational health.
Get 25% off your first month only at ritual.com/booktalk.
Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18+ to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK for 25% off. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps.
What I love about AG1 is the live probiotics that are in the drink in addition to the 75 plus minerals and vitamins. I've tried the probiotic pills and it just doesn't work for me.
You are a probiotic girl.
I try so hard.
My favorite part about AG1 Next Gen is the fact that they have multiple gold standard clinical trials. In an industry where not everyone invests heavily on research, AG1 Next Gen goes to great lengths to continually invest in rigorous peer-reviewed clinical trials.
Not only does AG1 support gut health, it also boosts energy, provides daily nutrients, and supports your immune system. Head to drinkag1.com/booktalk to get a free welcome kit, including a bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs when you first subscribe.
That's drinkag1.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
You know the words that dominate our news cycle.
Private equity keeps inventing
generative artificial intelligence
tax on home.
America's fueled by market volatility.
Bets on Fed rate cuts.
But do you truly understand how they impact your world and your wallet? In a world that skims the what, understand the why, because context changes everything. Subscribe to learn more at Bloomberg.com, the global benchmark for business news.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.